The Alien movie franchise has just gone off the deep end with just squeezing out trash, milking the Alien name. All of the new ones, they just don't live up to the hype until Alien Romulus. Alien Romulus is definitely one of the better Alien movies, definitely top 3. The tension is there, the designs are there, the acting is there, and definitely the scenarios the characters are put in, those are fantastic too. They get really creative with some things we haven't seen before, but I'm gonna go over this with no spoilers, and then I'm gonna do a second section where I just go over some things I want to talk about from spoilers. My goodness, I love the sound effects in this movie. I am a nerd for those alarm sounds, but not even just the alarm sounds that go off. Every little sound effect adds so much more gravity to the situations. Like even the Star Wars Destroyer alarm sounds, those are just so nostalgic to me. It's something about alarms in movies like sci-fi movies that just hit the right spot with me. The atmosphere they build with the visuals, the cinematography, and the effects. And then the sound effects, they all just come together. They mesh together so well. The direction of this movie, the sound design, the production, everything is great. This had an $80 million budget, and you can feel and you can see, you can hear the effort they put into this movie in creating the atmosphere. So with movies like this that are thrillers, all you got to get that first part right, the atmosphere. But once you have that, it should be a walk in the park. And thankfully, this movie takes that walk in the park. There were a couple of things that I didn't like, or it's not that I didn't like it. It's just like, I think they could have did better, or, maybe fleshed that out a little bit more. And what's surprising is movies like this usually have a main character that stand out, that they really focus on. But the main character isn't really the star of the show. She's not the only person that you care about. You actually end up caring about the other characters more. Like, for example, the synthetic that our main character Rain works with, I just love his character. They really know how to make you care about synthetics in alien movies. That's at least one thing they've always done good with, and this one stands out even more. When they first introduced her synthetic Andy, I was like, oh, they're going to be trying to pull at your heartstrings and all that stuff. But no, they go in a completely different direction with the character, and it's great. The dynamic between her and the cyborg is also really great too. The practical effects are amazing. You can't really tell in this movie what is CGI versus practical because they just do it's so handcrafted. I love the effort that went into it. I can say I wanted to see a little bit more of the aliens, but the character dynamic and situations make it like it fulfills you enough to where you don't need to see that much more of the aliens. But I did feel like I didn't see enough alien scenes or kills for real. As a matter of fact, I think we get more crawler scenes than we do the alien scenes. The crawler scenes are great. Some cliche scenes in these thriller movies can be kind of annoying, but you can tell they really try their best to stray away from it, but they're inevitable. So I don't really roll my eyes at any of them in this movie because they're so well done that they're almost not noticeable. But that is something that I have to point out. But I'm always looking for ways or thinking of ways that maybe directors, and I hope that they do this too, they can innovate on scary movies and thriller movies and these scenes where we kind of get the same thing over and over again, but in different stories or scenarios in every movie. This is outside of alien movies too. Some of my favorite scenes are the scenes with the synthetic and the dialogue between him, Rain, the other synthetics that he meets, and the decisions he has to make because he has to act as the rational, logical cyborg that doesn't really have human emotions while he watches the humans, spaz out because they're not emotional creatures, which ends up actually helping them in the long run. So I give Alien Romulus a 9 out of 10, a nearly flawless movie, besides some gripes that I'll get into in spoilers. Definitely go see this movie. It is worth your time. All right, on to the spoilers. I do want to talk about one scene that bothered me a little bit. The cryo fuel, when they go to retrieve the cryo fuel out of the room that has the crawlers in it. First of all, why are those in the same room? Why is it that when they pull the cryo fuel out, that activates the heat in the room or just turns the room lights on? The alarm comes on, it's still dark, but for some reason that starts heating up the little mucus that the crawlers are in, and it doesn't really make sense why that heats that up. It's just like it was forced, like they had to start picking things up because the movie before that point was just a lot of dialogue and setup. But okay, suspension of disbelief that bothered me for a second. They had to get the movie started up. Okay, I let that slide. It didn't really mess up the movie's score for me. I like the scenes with the other synthetic that they find on the ship once Rain finally activates him. He looks great. He's just an animatronic, and the way they give the feeling of him being an animatronic, like he's glitched. The way his face moves seems animatronic, like he is messed up and damaged, but he also looks really real. Like if that was a cyborg in real life, that's exactly how his mouth and everything would move. And the voice actor was literally perfect for that synthetic. My favorite scene of the movie was when Andy wouldn't let the pregnant lady in and he had to think rationally. And it was just this tense situation of, can they convince him to do it? But no, he has the new chip inside of him and he's thinking rationally. I mean, it makes me wonder if he had the other chip in him, if he would have just followed Rain's orders, because he has to do what's best for her. And ultimately what's best for her is to not open that door either way, because the alien is sitting there waiting for him. He thinks rationally. He can see and scan the situation without hyperventilating and overreacting, while the humans are emotional. And that made for a really interesting scene. I will say that the tension they tried to build with the ship running into the asteroid field ring that surrounds the planet didn't really bother me. It was kind of like, I know they're not really going to be affected by that. It's just this timer to let you know how far you are into the movie. That's what it feels like. Outside of that, it didn't really add tension for me. It was there, the movie could have completely went without it, but it helps set up those scenes later that helps her kill that baby, half alien thing. One thing I did think about was how the people on that planet do not care about like the workers or anything. They don't even have a patrol around the planet. They just let people do whatever they want. Nobody came to check out to see what was going on up there. Like no distress signals or anything. It really does feel barren. I think that does help the atmosphere. Like this universe is cold. Like we're dealing with space travel and humans are not really made to go to space, especially they really emphasize that in this movie. This one thing bothered me too, and I'm pretty sure it probably bothered y'all as well. Why did that lady try to go to sleep pregnant in the cryo chamber? Like her original goal, like before they got into the ship and everything went wrong, her initial plan was to go to sleep in the cryo chamber with the baby. How does that work? Does the baby go to sleep for 9 years too? Like, how does a baby survive in her belly for 9 years while they travel to a different planet while frozen? It stops the baby's progress too. That's very weird to think about. They don't ever explain it either. And then she tries, after the alien had her in that cocoon, and like, I know they were just trying their best to keep her alive, but that was a stupid plan. They should have, I don't know, I think they should have left her on that ship. But okay, they take her and the baby comes like bursting out, and it's really disgusting and gross looking. And then the way that thing evolves so quickly and the design of it, like you can see it slowly growing and how big it gets. That was just so sweet. It was really cool concept for them to add into the movie. And I like that it was like a double ending. It's just that it kind of dragged a little bit too long, and the way she kills it, it's kind of lame. I personally think this movie would have ended better with all of the, like, them setting the destination of where to take it, and the alien remains on that ship for the 9 years after it kills everybody. Like, you could have killed everybody in this movie, and the only person I would have really felt bad for was the synthetic. But the synthetic, I don't know, maybe the synthetic could actually survive. I wanted to see this thing continue on into another movie when it lands on that planet and just see where they can go from there, because outside of that, there's no way to continue the alien story. It's just another ship, another crisis with aliens breaking out and them trying to figure out how to evolve humans. I really wanted to see the story progress. I wanted all of the characters to die, but the good guys have to win. And the way she kills the thing is kind of anticlimactic. That thing was way too crazy strong and big for her to even stand a chance, and they kept looking at her in the face and just not killing her, ripping her to shreds. And it was interesting because it felt like they were going somewhere with how it interacted with the mom before the mom wanted nothing to do with that thing. It looked like, oh, you were my mom, maybe I can leave you alive, you know? Maybe this thing could have somehow had a connection with humans, and it would have made for another interesting movie. But still, overall, a great movie. You should definitely go see it. 9 out of 10. And I will see you guys on the next video review. Peace.